Okay, so this is going to be an instructional / overview video of this used Bessecarr 530. This is on an 07 plate. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the vehicle and then we will go into the habitation area. So first things first, I'm going to show you how to open the bonnet. Two reasons for this. One, obviously, so you know where the release catch is, and then two, we'll show you the terminal points in the bonnet area. So to open the bonnet, if you open the passenger door, at the side of the dash, you've got your release catch. Pull that down once and that will then release. Also, where we are in here, underneath the passenger seat, we have a tool kit. So that will have a jack in there and a towing eye. And then driver and passenger windows, the doors, they have blackout blinds on, so they meet at the end on a magnetic strip. Same on the front windscreen, they will meet, so you unclip them here, they will join together in the middle of the windscreen on a magnetic strip. To put them back in place, just slide them gently and then they will click like so. So as you can see, I've now got access to the bonnet area. So if you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason, under this black cover here, it's lifted up and this is going to be your positive terminal point. Your negative terminal point is just on this bolt nipple here. Also under here, obviously, we have got your screen wash fill in front of the driver. So now we are going to carry around the external of the motorhome. As you can see, this vehicle has got an awning on. You'll get a separate link on the email how to set up and use the awning. At the side of the passenger door, behind this cover here, we have your diesel fill. You just need to use your vehicle blade key to access this. The first compartment we come to is just your garage locker, some storage under one of the benches, which we'll open now. And as you can see, we've got plenty of storage, and this is under one of the bench seats in the habitation. Under this cover here is going to be your leisure battery. That's the habitation door. As you can see, it's on central locking. And then at the rear, on the passenger side still, we do have a external gas point. So you just need a quick release connection which goes onto there, and then obviously you've got gas externally. On the rear of the vehicle we got ventilation, so this ventilation is for the fridge freezer, so just make sure that is clear at all times, especially obviously when it's on gas, because that just circulates some fresh air through there. And now on the driver's side we have got your toilet cassette door. So if you want to empty or clean your toilet cassette, all you need to do is access this here and then lift up this yellow tab here, lift it up, slide the cassette towards you. Once the cassette is out and you want to empty it, if you want to empty it, this grey nozzle on the left, twist it out to the left, take this white cap off, and then when you tilt up the cassette to empty, if you press on this yellow button at the top, hold it down, that lets air into the top of the cassette, so all the fluids flow out a lot faster. Other than that, you can open the cassette blade here and clean internally with a hose pipe if needed. To put your cassette back in place, just align it and then slide it in, and then the main thing is here, this yellow clip, you want it to where it click down and make sure it's secured down, so then your toilet cassette is not going to move in or out in transit. If you can't pull out the cassette, the reason for that is because your blade on the toilet internally is still left open, which we'll get to. Directly below the rear axle on the driver's side, we have your grey waste release valve. So here, all you need to do is 180 turn on this valve and that will empty all the grey waste out. Sometimes I find it's better using two hands on this, one on the actual valve itself and then one on the handle, just to save any pipework twisting. Next locker, we have your gas locker. So in here you can actually fit two tanks. So you can fit two 6 kilogram tanks in here, and then you connect onto the gas regulator at the top with a 1/2 inch, that's a 1/2 inch thread there. So you connect onto there with the orange hose and then onto the gas cylinders. Here we have your Truma boiler flue. So you want to keep this clear at all times, especially obviously when you are burning gas, because this is where the fumes do exhaust from. Also, this does get quite hot sometimes. Here, as you can see, we are connected to shore, so this is where you plug in when you're at campsite. And then the last compartment we come to is going to be your fresh water. So you just need to use your habitation key, take this cover off, hose pipe in. When the water starts to come out of this hole, that means your fresh water tank is completely full. And then on the driver's side, just behind the driver's seat, it's easier to show you here, but that is your 12 volt fuses. So that is all the 12 volt fuses for the habitation area. So this, if anything does pop on the 12 volt side, just need to check here to see what fuse has blown, if it does blow. So as you can see, we are now in the habitation area. So directly above the habitation door, we do have your control panel. So to turn on the control panel, just press and hold the power and then it will fire up. So currently I am connected to mains hookup, as you've seen outside. So this red light here is telling me that the vehicle is charging. So if I press this, the light will go off because now I'm just using the leisure battery on its own. But if I press it again, you can see on the screen here, it's highlighting that the vehicle is charging. So it's charging up the leisure batteries. So you need this red light on when you are connected to mains hookup, because when you are using this 12 volt system, at least the mains hookup is charging up your leisure battery at the same time. Top left, if you turn it on, you'll get a green light. It's your water pump. You only want to turn your water pump on when you have got physical water in the tank. The next one is a frost protect. So that is just a water heater for your fresh water. So if you're going somewhere really cold, you can turn that on. This one is your heating. So on your heating, you need to turn this one on as well for your hot water. So you need hot water and heating on at the same time for it to work on the heating. So if I turn the heating on, it tells you on the screen here off. Press it again, it will turn it on. But then I do need to turn on the water heater as well. So as you can see, we've got two green lights. Basically, this is your control for the hot water and heating. So on the right hand side here, we've got your source. So you've got at the top here 2 kilowatts of electric, then you've got 1 kilowatt, you've got gas on its own. So if you're off grid, you'll be on gas. If you're at campsite, you can put 1 kilowatt on gas, and then you can put 2 kilowatts on gas, so you can do mixed. So the electric one, you need to be on obviously mains hookup. Left hand side, you've got top two, you've got 60 degrees and then 40 degrees, so that's just your hot water. So if I turn it to 60 degrees, it's going to boil the hot water. Next one is 40 degrees, middle is off. But then I can, if I just want my heating on, I can put it on the gas symbol, and that is my heating source. So I've got a dial here for the temperature. And then the last one is heating and hot water. So most people use this one because obviously you might want hot water when you need, but then obviously you want the heating on at the same time. If you don't want your heating on and you just want to have the hot water, you put it on the top two. Back to your control panel. On the right hand side, top one, is going to be your awning light. So it was just asking, I need to go through the settings on the water. It's asking to turn it on, which I have done. Can go through, and you can actually set a timer for it to turn on and boil obviously that water, or turn it off. So on the right hand side at the top, press it, it's your awning light externally. This one here is your porch light. As you can see, the light's gone on and off. So that's your entrance light. And then this one is some lights in the habitation, and you need to press and hold this bottom one here for these two symbols. So here we've got two symbols now, so that's turning on all the lights in the motorhome. So it's turning on the ones above the kitchen, it's turning the ones above the skylight, and the ones underneath the cabinets. So to have all the lights on, you do need to get this two symbol here, these two lights here. So these two lights is to turn all the lights on. So how I did that, like I said, this one is for the skylight light, and then this bottom one is to turn on the lights underneath the cupboard. But to turn this on, if both of them don't come on, you just need to press and hold this, and then once you get this symbol here with two of them, that means all the habitation lights are switched on. Next we have your kitchen area. So we've got fridge freezer here. So to turn on your fridge freezer, just press and hold this little one here in, and it will light up like so. And there's a few settings we've got on here. So you've got battery symbol, which is when your engine's running. So when you're traveling, put it onto the battery symbol, so then your fridge keeps cool. So basically the engine is topping up your leisure battery, and this is taking a little feed from the leisure battery. Next symbol is gas on its own. So if you're off grid, you turn it on gas. Just make sure you turn on your gas cylinder. This one, plug socket, so that's when we're connected to mains hookup. So currently obviously I'm connected to mains hookup, so I'll leave it on this one. On the right hand side is your temperature. So you can select this by just keep pressing the button. So you got low and high. This is all dependent obviously how much you fill the fridge freezer as well. So you got three sources: mains hookup, plug socket, gas if you're off grid, and then the battery symbol when you are in transit. So you do this manually. To turn it off, just press and hold this little button in, and it will then shut down. Here we have obviously your kitchen sink. So on your kitchen sink, what we want to do is prime our motorhome with water. So we've got water at the taps at the ready. Basically, how we're going to do this, the first thing we're going to do is shut all the valves in the motorhome. So I've not got to two of the valves just yet, but basically we need to shut the grey waste, we need to shut the fresh water, we need to shut the boiler valve. So there's three valves we need to shut, which we'll get to the rest. Once all the valves are shut, we can then now fill up the fresh water tank. So once you put the hose pipe in externally, fill that fresh water tank full, what we can do then to prime our system, we come to our control panel, turn on the control panel, and then we would turn on the pump. The pump will start pumping water from the fresh water tank as soon as we open the tap. So as soon as we open the tap on the cold side, what's going to happen is water's coming from the fresh water tank through the pipe work to the tap. Once we've done that, if we twist it to the hot side, as you can see some water come out because this vehicle has already been primed once. So basically on the hot side, what it's going to do first is fill up your boiler. So your boiler holds around 10 litres of your water. Once it comes to your boiler, it will then come through the tap. Once you get a steady flow of water on the hot side, that means your pipe work, your boiler is all filled up, ready to use. The only thing you will need to do is hot water is boiled on the boiler, it's not on demand. So that's how you prime your system. Fill up with fresh water, close all your drain valves, fill up your fresh water tank, turn on the control panel and then the water pump, and then open your tap, cold, wait for a steady flow, turn it to the hot side, wait for a steady flow. Shut the tap, your pipework is primed, ready to use. Here we have a 4-ring burner, 3 is gas and then 1 is electric. The electric will only work on mains hookup and then the rest will be on gas. Above that we do have a microwave. The microwave again will only work on mains hookup just because it's so powerful. We've got plug sockets around, so these 3-pin sockets will only work when you're connected to mains hookup, and then you obviously got 12-volt sockets lower down. In here we have your toilet and shower room. So you've got your light switch, which is just here. You won't need to prime this basin sink. Once you've done one tap, all you're doing is venting the air out of the excess pipe work and then the water will come through. We've got your toilet. So as I was saying externally about the toilet cassette, so this lever here, this is how you open and close the toilet. So obviously this will be closed when not in use, just to save any smells coming up. But down here at the back we've got a blue button. So the blue button is using fresh water to wash down the bowl, so you need your control panel on for that because that's using the pump. And then to the right there's a little symbol that will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full. As soon as it lights up, you just need to empty it at the next place you can. In this cupboard here we have got your main breaker. So this is on the 240-volt side. So this is when you're plugged into mains hookup. If something trips on the 240-volt side, could be the fridge, this is where you need to check. It's very rare this trips. Most of the time it is the campsite the campsite post that trips. So when you plug in, so always check the campsite post first. Sometimes you might need to change the plug to a different post because sometimes they are faulty. This vehicle does have an aerial, so to use this all you need to do is undo this nut here, slide the aerial pole up and you can spin it around to get the best signal. So this red light here is your indicator for signal. This will be in green when you get the best signal. So on the left hand side here we have obviously a bench seat, but on this one that is where the storage is, what you can get to from external. On the right hand side here, this is where your boiler is going to be. So what I'm going to do now is remove the cushions for the boiler so we can get access underneath here and see. And just before I do that, underneath this carpet here, which you will need to do, once you lift this carpet up, as you can see we have got a trap door. So I'm going to remove this trap door in a moment, but basically under here is where your fresh water tank is. So you will need to access this if you are draining your fresh water tank for winter, or obviously if you're not using the motorhome. At the bottom of the fresh water tank there is a bung what you need to put your hand in and pull out. So you need to put this bung in when you want to fill up the fresh water tank. So I'm just going to remove these covers now and show you. So as you can see I've now lifted the panels up. So all you need to do is unscrew this cap here, and that is your fresh water tank down there. And as you can see there's an orange bung down there. So currently that's in, it's got water in it. So if you want to drain this you need to put your hand in and then pull that bung out, and that will empty all the water out of the fresh water tank. So you need to do this obviously if you're not using the motorhome for a few weeks, or especially obviously in winter so the water doesn't freeze and expand. But obviously if you're filling up you need to make sure you put that bung back in, otherwise it's just going to drain straight out of the motorhome. So here, as you can see here, we have your boiler. So the only reason you will need to access down here is because it's hard to show, but I'm going to try and show you the best as possible. See that yellow valve there, that is the valve that you need to close to obviously fill up the boiler with water to get it to your tap. So currently in the position down flat, that means it's closed. If I want to open this to empty the boiler out with water for obviously again in winter, so the boiler doesn't obviously freeze, basically you need to lift this yellow valve up, so when it's in the vertical position, that means the valve is open and the water will drain out of the boiler. When it's flat like so, that means the valve is completely closed. And then these bench seats make up obviously your bed area, so you do need to fold out these leg supports. And then once you do fold these out, basically the bed does then slide out into the middle. So as you can see, if you put them legs down, it gives more support in the middle. So on the left hand side bench, it will slide out as well, joins in the middle, and then you just remake up the bed area with the big cushions and the back cushions for the infill pieces. So that is the instructional / overview video complete of the Bessecarr 530. If you have any more questions, you can leave a comment below, or you can always give us a call or drop us an email.